You said earlier on that God was totally non-physical, and
God is what?
Non-physical, a spiritual being.
Yes.
How can you have a face with an expression?
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a really wonderful. That's an excellent question. There are these verses in the Bible that talk about Moses speaking to God face to face, as a man does with his friend. Somehow, I think God brings his being and his character to manifestation in some way, which the Bible speaks of as God's face. Now, God in his spiritual being does not have a physical body. Jesus has a physical body, but I don't think it means we'll see the face of Jesus, though that's true also. I think it means, in some sense, we will see the face of God. The options are, it either means that there will be just some kind of visible but non-physical manifestation of God, or that it's just an image, a figure of speech by which God communicates to us that we will behold and take into ourselves the excellence of his presence. And I'm not sure, Deborah, if we can be sure. Okay? The Bible also talks about God whom no one has ever seen or can see. But then it says we will see his face. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." So there's a sense in which we'll see God. There's another sense in which we'll never see all of God or probably behold his genuine essence. So if God is spirit, and that's a form of existence that is not in any one location, but transcends limitations of space, then it's not physical, it's not material, it can't be perceived, it's just God's presence. I don't know what more to say about that. That's a hard question. Yeah.
I thought quite a lot about what we do when we get to heaven, and I struggle with the tension between perfection, as we will become, and the understanding I have that anything worthwhile that I've gained in this earth has to be worked at.
Yes.
And so it is the practice, a striving for perfection, if you like,
yes,
that makes life worthwhile.
Yep.
And if we're getting to a point where we are perfect,
yep,
am I going to instantly draw the perfect painting?
Yes.
Or will you draw the perfect diagram?
I'm quite sure no.
Do you see the tension here?
Yes. Okay, so I want to distinguish. I think we're morally perfect, that we don't have sin, but I don't think we're omniscient.
Sorry?
I don't think we're omniscient. That is, I don't think we have infinite knowledge. Only God has that. And that means that we'll be able to go on learning forever. And part of learning is acquisition of skills. So I don't think there's any sin involved in learning to draw and doing it by trial and error. I don't think there's any sin involved in learning to shoot an arrow at a target and adjusting your sights. I think the acquisition of skill is that trial and error is inherent in that, but it's not moral error. It just means that in our finitude, our finite nature, God has us learn things over time. And so your joy, Robin, in learning to do things that take effort and are worthwhile, I think that'll be continually fulfilled forever, because you'll be continually learning new things. Yeah, good. Becky?
Sort of following on from that question, how will it work that there is free will in heaven? Because if there is free will, does there need to be the possibility for sin? But there can't be sin because it's heaven, but then how do we have free will?
These questions have covered everything that I didn't talk about. And there's another good one. I think, Becky, that we will be confirmed in righteousness. That is, unable ever to sin again. And then someone will say, as you said, well, then how can we have free will if we don't have the opportunity to choose evil? Well, my response is, think about God. He doesn't have the ability to choose evil. He can't contradict his character. But he's totally free, more free than we are. He is free to do whatever he wishes consistent with his holy will. So we will be free to climb Mount Everest or go scuba diving or whatever. There's lots of choice there, but it will be consistent with our moral nature. We won't have the freedom to choose evil.